What it do is your boy CincereB here. Let's talk. New episode. Today is Veterans Day, so I wanted to say Happy Veterans Day to all my fellow veterans out there. And for today's episode of Let's Talk, I want to just share some information with you guys. Share my experience with a little bit of boot camp, and then sharing my experience or what it felt like to be in the actual war, which was Desert Shield, Desert Storm. So, which I was in those. So we're gonna go through this conversation. So just sit back and hope you enjoy the information. And I think it kind of give you a little insight to speak to someone who actually been in that type of environment. I mean, we've seen movies and we know that these things happen, but a lot of us don't really know a person who actually been through it and actually talk to someone that might be your situation. And I'm that person. And this is not a political thing. We're not getting into politicals of why the theory, why we did what we did during Desert Storm, Desert Shield. It's not about that. We're not talking about that, because as a soldier or a military person, we don't we do what we ask to do, and that's that. We're hoping that what we're doing is for a good reason, whatever, despite the rumors or whatever it may be. So we don't want to get into that. Okay, so this is really just sharing my experience and painting a picture for you, so you can see how it really kind of went down in that time. So first we'll start with boot camp. I graduated in 1989, I think around June, July. By September 89, I was at boot camp. Boot camp was a crazy experience, man. It was fun. It was mentally challenging and physically demanding. I'll put it that way. The physical part of it wasn't hard because, I was already all-around athlete. I played football, baseball, tennis, golf, track. I played football from Little League, YMCA till I graduated high school. So the physical part wasn't bad. It was demanding, but it wasn't terrible. It's more a mental thing. Now, some people did have physical problems, and some people did have both. And you see those movies where they have the military and it's this boot camp, and there's always that one person that just lose it, and they have to end up getting that person out of the camp, out of the company, and if you wonder that was true, that is true. Now, I'm not gonna say every time, but for our company at that time, it was true. I was stationed in San Diego, and that's where I went to boot camp. And for boot camp, that is in San Diego. And then my company is everybody that was in my company. We had 75 people in my company. There's a lot of companies on that base for boot camp, so we just one of many. Our group was 75. We had a berthing of 75 beds, and that's what we slept together. Everything together is with us. We together. So that was how boot camp began. I became Master Arm. Master Arm is second in command. He most like the muscle. You have, and I can't remember the head guy. I think he was considered the RO or something. But anyway, he was the head guy, and really is volunteer to choose their roles. I didn't want to be the RO because RO, he has the major power, but technically the Master Arm is really more in control. So he acted an enforcer. So I volunteered to be that. Now, once you volunteer, if you do well, then you can continue to be that. And I mean, you do well by the actions of people below you. So if they are actually, if they feel you, then you're gonna lead. So I was Master Arms. So I was the one that made sure things got done. Okay, so 75 of us in there, and just to take you to some of the funny parts of boot camp that I went through. So in boot camp, our punishment consists of really just mashing. Mashing is extra PT, extra physical training. So you get in trouble, you're gonna do a lot more extra push-ups and sit-ups and running. So that's called mashing to us. It's like a punishment. So I've been mashed twice by myself. And one reason was it wasn't my fault. The second reason, it was kind of my fault. So I'll tell you the two incidents that happened. All right, so in the barracks, which is where we sleep at, we have 9 pistons. We'll just say 9 pistons. Pistons are the one that you stand up on your feet, right? We had 9 of those, and we had about 6 toilets, actual sit-down toilets. but you can only use one of each throughout the whole time between 75 people. So you have to keep everything spick and span clean. Now the clean, you only can use the material issued to you by the government. So pretty much, I mean, technically, anything we have at that time is issued by the government, but that means for us cleaning material. And we have to make sure that the silver is silver, shiny, any brass is clean. But we know that stuff that you give us, it will clean it, but it takes extra time and extra muscle, you know? When we could just actually use some of our t-shirts or our socks and it can be done a whole lot faster and still look just as good. But you're not supposed to do that. So one day I had my crew, I said, y'all get ready to start, time to clean, start cleaning, get everything cleaned up. Then they did it. I inspected it. It was great. Someone went and told the CEO that my guys used t-shirts and socks and stuff to get this clean, to get it done in a faster time. So he calls me into this, we had this room that we all would meet up. It's inside the building too. It's a little square room, and we sit down for mail time or updates or just a straight up bitch out. So we call me in the room. Now the guys that was like our commanding officers or CEOs, they both was like senior chiefs and master chiefs, which is rare. Each company has an actual true high-ranking military person that's running that company the whole time you're in boot camp. But also we have around the base, at that time we had these guys that would ride on bikes. They were kind of like, think of them as ticket meters. Like if you park a ticket, they give you a ticket. These guys ride around the base to make sure you're not doing certain infractions, because everything is about mental, about following orders. So like certain sections of the where you walk in at to go back to your berth from lunch or whatever, it's a blacktop. You can't touch it. You can't go on that blacktop like you're doing something that's supposed to be done on that blacktop. Other than that, you have to go around it. It's a square, and you actually have to double time, and you have to jog around it. So you can march. You get to that point, you gotta start running. You can't go across it or anything. So it was coming back from the beginning place where we normally got our shots and everything. We had classes, we had to go there. So we went there that day classes. And now I'm marching them back to the barracks because my head guy above me is not there. I forgot what he was doing, but I had to bring him back myself. So when we come back, we marching. I'm on the outside by myself, and my company is in formation, and I'm leading, and we are singing our chants and everything to march. So we come across the blacktop that is where you're not supposed to go across it. You're supposed to just go around it. And I'm marching, we marching, and I see the female officer pass by. And at that time, it wasn't a lot of females or ladies, in the military, or at least that we saw. And when I saw her, like, dang. And when you march, you can't rubberneck. So you can't be like, you know, you gotta keep it straight. That's called rubbernecking. So I wanted them to see too. So what I told them to do is a left oblique. So when we're doing a left oblique, what we do is that we marching forward. We just slightly turn this way. We're still marching forward, but to the naked eye, we're kind of going like this. In a way, we're kind of going sideways. When I told them to do that, they turned, and we end up walking sideways across the blacktop. And they all got to see the girl. I'm like, look at the girl. Look at the girl. Look at the lady over there. And they're like, whoa. And as we're going across the blacktop, it looks good. And we're going across the blacktop, one of the inspectors came by. I said, a company halt. Who in charge? And they're like, me, sir. What the hell are you thinking about? And he was like, just going off of me by crossing that damn freaking blacktop, man. And then, man, all of a sudden, he gave me one of those tickets, man. And when you get that ticket from those guys, it's a big thing. So what they do is that they send you to get matched, but you got to get matched with the SEALs. And that's like the heavy offenders. So it's like at night, like 9 o'clock at night, when people get ready to go to bed, when you're up with the SEALs and you working out with the SEALs. So as a newbie there, you hear that rumor like, man, you get in trouble really because seeing what the SEALs do, it's no joke. You scared as hell. So I'm like nervous as shit. I'm like, what? I'm going to go with some SEALs and get mashed? I'm like, shit. So my CEO told me we gotta go. So I went, I got this like 50 people out there, man, all in formation to get ready to get mashed. These are all different offenders for others, whatever the case may be. So the SEAL's like, come on in. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. Go ahead and get in position. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. That's the way he was talking. We're going to start in about 5 minutes. I'm like, what? This ain't no damn SEALs. So you're like, all right, just be ready, get ready. Man, 5 minutes came, and I don't know what happened, but these dudes turned into like a devil. Get up, you maggot. You're on your face. Get up. But we got mashed. We exercised for like 3 or 4 hours, like midnight, man. We were still... I was so tired, man. Oh, man, it was horrifying, dude. It was horrifying, but it was a crazy experience. So that's one of the second thing that happened to me, how I got in trouble. The funny parts about boot camp was when we go to the galley, that's where we eat, it's the cafeteria. In San Diego, when we come out the galley, you have to follow in formation to get ready to head back to the barracks. So when we cut the barracks, there's always a bunch of pigeons on the ground. And the first thing they tell you, man, when you go to the galley, you come out the galley, you fall in formation. You don't acknowledge the pigeons, period. Never. Everybody knows this. So one day we come out the galley, and one of the guys had snuck some bread out and was trying to feed the pigeons as he walked by, and the SEAL caught him. SEAL said, what the hell are you doing? Didn't I tell you? He was just going off about you feeding the pigeons, I tell you what. You gonna stand here, and every pigeon that come down, you better salute every damn pigeon. So I kid you not, we in formation waiting to leave, and pigeons was coming down and leaving, and he was sitting there, and I swear, we left, came back for dinner. About 3 or 4 hours later, he was still. We just rolled, man. We rolled. It was so funny. And the crazy part about it, the way they do it in boot camp, it wasn't like they picked on one person, because he got him. The next day, it was somebody else in trouble, and he was laughing with us about him. But how it works all together, the guy that had to salute the pigeons, he was kind of heavy set guy. Wasn't good at PT. Couldn't really get the marching down too well. After that day though, and he had to do that pigeon thing, things changed. He got a little serious, and then he picked up his PT. We didn't have to help him as much no more, and he was getting his marching down. Even the rifle control, he was getting down. It changed him. So those things, you look back at that, and now you're like, those things seem really dumb and funny, and like picking on somebody. But it was all about discipline, and it worked. So that's one incident with the pigeon thing. The other incident is that when we are at our racks, your bed has to be always military creased, precise, put together, clean, good. You also had these 2 drawers. You had like an A drawer and a B drawer, and I can't remember which one was which, but we'll just say the B drawer was the one, all your personal stuff, your wallet, you had some change, dollar, money, anything, credit cards, all that goes into that B drawer. Just always stay locked up. It's never unlocked. You leave it unlocked, that's hell to pay. All right, we don't know what's going to happen because we hadn't experienced it yet, but it's hell to pay. One day comes by, we all by our beds. We get ready to do our inspection. So we stand by our beds at parade rest. Actually, attention. The SEAL comes by, look at the bed, everything. Check your drawer, make sure it's locked. One guy forgot his B drawer open. Oh man, we never knew what was going to happen. We're like, oh shit, this actually about to happen? So the guy left his B drawer open, and the SEAL said, what the fuck? And they always cuss you out, man. So many different words. This picture of major cussing right now. Why is this open? And he said, I forgot, sir. Y'all, you forgot? I tell you what, get that B drawer. And he had change. Because we had soda machines. After a while at boot camp, a little bit past halfway, we could start getting like a soda or something like that. So he had mat change in the pennies and nickels and dime the quarters, dollar bills, cards in there. So he said he had letters, man. So he said, like, take that B drawer and go out to the blacktop. And the blacktop, we was on the 2nd floor. So the blacktop was down on the 1st floor. And if you walk into the blacktop, it's about a 5-minute walk maybe. So he had to go to the blacktop, dump everything on the blacktop, bring the B drawer back up and put it back in. And then he had to go back down and grab every single piece of stuff, bring it up, put it back in the beat draw, do 20 push-ups, and do that until he gets everything in, man. It took him like an hour and a half, man. We were staying at parade rest an hour and a half till he came back and filled that beat draw back up so he could lock it back up and keep it locked. And I say, I swear you not, that nobody else leave a beat draw open after that day. They draws are always locked. So that's another funny incident that happened too. What else? Let's see, here's so many things that happen at Bootcamp. It's crazy. So one of the training we go into, and this is an episode people who couldn't handle stuff. So one time we go into training, we have to do a gas chamber. Gas chamber is when they put you into this metal room, and it's just filled with just some type of tear gas, and you're supposed to go in there. They're gonna ask you a few questions to see if you're able to handle it. So, all right, so you walk in there, and man, it's so much tear gas you can barely see the person next to you, and it's a small room, and it's 3 or 4 of y'all together. You go in there with gas masks. Then they say, okay, take your mask off. You take your mask off. The second you inhale, it's just over. Inside's burning, nose burning, eyes burning, skin burning. You're like, ugh. And there's people that literally cannot take it. They take their mask off and they're just, and they literally had to drag these people out of there because they are losing their minds. But the ones that can stay, we're in there and have to answer questions. And if you're a high ranker like a master arm, they're gonna ask you more questions. So we're in there and they're like, "What's your name, recruit? Where you from? What's your mama name? You like cookies?" And they start fucking with you like. I'm like, man, let's be over with. So you shit is burning. You're like, we gotta call you like, and they do it on purpose, man, to fuck with you, man. Like, man, they're funny to let you out, man. But there's some people that just cannot handle it, man. And then another thing we would do too for training is that people don't know, but the blue bell-bottom jeans you see sailors wear or used to wear a lot were actually flotation devices. So what we would do is, for training, we had to go to the pool, and we had a high platform that we jump down at the platform. We had to go underwater, take off our dungarees, and you tie the ends of it up, and you come up and you slam them down in the water, and it expands, and then you can kind of get on top of it and you can float away using the flotation device. But some people couldn't swim, and evidently didn't realize you need to swim in the Navy. So they did it, but they still did it. So they jumped in the water, they fighting in the water, they can't swim, and then guess who's in there helping us? SEALs. You know. So SEALs got this long stick, and if you have problems, they put the stick out there, you grab it and they pull you in. But these are SEALs, so they put the stick out there, and the guy tried to grab it, and they pull it back. He can't grab the stick, and we all just cracking up, man. And then they get the stick, and he hit him in the chest. The guy that going back in the water, he's like, they finally pull him out, man. But it is just hilarious, man. It is so funny. So that's another funny incident right there. So that's it for Bootcamp. We just covered Bootcamp. It's a great experience. Bootcamp also opened my eyes to different races of people. Where I was from in Houston, it was black, Mexican, a few white people, and that's it. I got into the Navy. I saw a whole lot of Asians, African Americans, and Mexicans, and come find out they were neither one of those. They was British, Gormanian, and it was just, and it was amazing because it was like I didn't know about all these different races of people. And what the funny part about it is that how we had so much in common. I'm like, we talking like, man, my mama used to whip me with a switch. And then the guy from Guam say, man, my mama did too. She made me go get the switch. I was like, my mama did the same thing. And he's like, my mama did too. Like, what? How the hell you from here and from here? I'm way over here. We all do this. And that shit just blew my mind. It blew my mind. So that's another, was a good positive thing about that. It brought me to know that there's so many different races of people. We all have so much in common, more than we think we have. And being that we was doing that one thing together, we all work together as a team, and no problem. So anyway, move on from there. We go from there. That's Bootcamp. Now let's go ahead and go into war thing. We see movies when we see whenever there's a war, it always has that the sky's dark and it's just gloomy. It just feels just eerie, and it's just everything looks smoky. And is that really true? And it was true. It's true, especially at that time where I was at, because we was in Persian Gulf, and then we had to go And the mission was we were going to help Kuwait because Iraq had invaded Kuwait. It was going to liberate Kuwait. We was going to help those people over there. So so when we pull in carrier groups, okay. And I tell you what, man, another thing that I did, and this is real talk. When you out there and you experience the power that the U.S. has, and I don't mean, I mean machine-wise, you can appreciate the dollar spent on military, man. I mean, it's amazing, and you kind of feel proud, and regardless of what you think about taxes and what you're paying for, you have this feeling inside that you got proud that you're a part of something like that, and you are in a country that has that ability. So to lay out the power that we had out there, we have 5 carrier groups in that area. I think it's not even half our military. That's just Navy. What a carrier group is you have the carrier, which we are. I'm on an aircraft carrier, and we're surrounded by boats that protect us, and destroyers and whatever is around us, they're around us. And then we have 2 submarines below us. That's one carrier group. We have 5 of those out there. But yeah, so we out there, and just to give you an idea how big the ocean is, you never see the boats that are around you. You cannot see them, probably with even binocular. That's how huge the ocean is, man. Think about that for a moment. You cannot see them, but they there. For somebody to get to you by plane, they would have to go through all that shit to get to you. And then below, that's another story. So we pull in, our carrier pulling into where we want to be at over there, and man, and it's just like the movie, man. We got there, man. The sky was just dark gray. It was smoky everywhere, and really bad over there because they had all those oil rigs in the water that was blowing up, that was smoky. At the same time as when I think it was Saddam, he released all that oil on his people. So he had all that oil in the water. So the water, the coating of the water was like almost black. There was like dead camels in the water. There was people in either homemade boats trying to escape from over there, trying to get away. And then we had to stop flying a lot because the birds kept landing on our plane that was covered with oil. So we had to get them, clean them off, and get them going again. At the same time, try to fly again. Man, it was like this. I'm 20. I'm like 20 years old, man. I'm 20 years old, sitting like, holy shit, this is real deal, man. We're serious right now. This ain't no game. It's about to go down. So I'm sitting like, okay, it's crazy. So now, I'm already fully trained. I got my 2 planes and stuff. I'm launching and recovering. And man, we start the actual airstrike, and my squadron did the first strike. So we launched that plane though. They leave. They go about 2 hours. So we go downstairs in the berth in the boat. We have a little lounge where you can watch TV. We can see actually pretty much live TV, and we watch CNN. And the CNN will say like, "Oh, we just found out the Navy had their first strikes just came by." We're like, "That's our planes, man," and they're hitting the right targets and everything. You're like, man, because you see you out there in the water and you see all these dead animals, and you see these people in these small boats who's trying to get away and everything, and you're like, man, this is why we doing this, man, and we doing it. And like I said, it don't even matter the political side of this or what they really there for. We are actually doing something that's really going to help these people for real, and you can see that today. But that's what your mind you get pumped, man. You want this to work, and everybody working together. Our hours is normally 12 on, 12 off, but during that time like 14, 16 hours on, and a little sleep. Even today, I can't sleep more than 4 hours. It's crazy, but yeah, but it was just like that, man. And then we was fine. On the day they ceased fire, we had lost one plane. One plane went down, but we recovered the pilot, but we lost the plane. So no casualties. That's another good thing. And then when we was done, we got relieved out there. Then we went to pull in to Abu Dhabi and Dubai, man. And when we pulled in, every time we pull into ports, it could be anywhere, man. Australia, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong. We always have civilians that know we're coming and on their own personal boats following us in. It can be hundreds of them. It can be 50 of them. They're out there following us in. We man the rails when we pull in. As respect, we are in our whites, you see them where we all stand on the edge of the boat. That's called manning the rails, and we do that every time we come in. So we coming in, it's like hundreds of boats following us, people pulling up and showing us they breasts and there. It's just mad crazy. So we go there. They're not doing that, of course, there, but there are some people following us in. We pull in, and people out there, man, I said thank you. And before we go there, we already have a meeting to tell us how we act. Cause we go over there, there's a lot of stuff you can't do. You can't be sitting with your legs crossed. You're not supposed to show the bottom of your feet. You can't eat with your hand you're right with, things like that, you know. And then most of the day, during the day, at that time was prayer. So from 7 to 7 is prayer. Ain't nothing open. No stores open. Nothing's open. And you really just in your hotel room. The hotel will cook food for you to eat, but you can't leave. You can't go, or you can go, but nothing happening. But it's just a big loud speaker that just covers the whole town, and they just hear prayer all day. Then about 7 at night, boom, the city just wakes up, man. All the stores open up. They got all these gold stores, and like they have a strip. It's just gold store, gold store, gold store. It's like this stores are all gold, man. It's not 18 karat. It's 21 and above. It's the real deal of all types and necklaces and shapes, and it's mad cheap. So that was a good experience there. And then one of the things they told us you cannot do is speak to the women, especially the ones that had the faces covered. So you get there, you like, because you know you're kind of nervous, because you want to mess up over there, because it's not like, if you're still over there, it's not going to be we're going to arrest you and set you a court date. It's going to be, if you still over here, we're going to have a court about 5 minutes away in the middle of the city, and something's coming off. That's how it is over there. So you don't see too much crime. So when they tell you to be careful and abide by their rules and don't do anything, you want to do that, because you can fall into that trap, and sometimes you might not be able to get help from the U.S. if that's the case, even though you're in the military. So we in the stores, and these ladies walk in, they all face covered. One had like a metal one on, and it was like crazy. I was like, whoa. And they actually talked to us. They were telling us, thank you for doing what we're doing. Thank you for being there. And we were like hesitant, like, should we say okay? So we said, okay, you welcome, welcome. And you do not even reach to touch them. So we just make sure our hands are away, and you welcome, whatever. But they actually came to us and was like, thank you. So it was cool. It was cool experience, and seeing the way Dubai is now and Abu Dhabi and what it was back then, man. I mean, you're talking night and day, man. And you see over there and how it is now. You can look back and see, I was part of something that gave a hand into making that become the way it is. That's true. So we got the Desert Storm. That was done. Then about a year later, we get notified that we got a new medal. All right. So, and it was created by Kuwait, and they were sending it to the U.S. to us, the soldiers, and giving us a new medal that was created by those guys. So everybody who's in the military during that time can wear their replica of this medal on their uniform, but only the ones that were actually there got the real one, apparently. Okay. And it came in a case, and again, this was actually created by Kuwait and given to us by Kuwait. Here's the case. You can see it says Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Can you see that? Okay, this is probably one of the most we got other medals too. We get for certain things in the Navy. I probably got another 4 or 5 more medals, but this is the basic medals. This is probably one of the best looking medals that I definitely have. I think it's a gorgeous medal, and I just it. So let's take some of the off. There you go. Really heavy in weight. Take it out so you can see the whole thing in the back. The back just plain silver. I never looked at it. Some people say it's gold or gold in the middle, but I don't think it is. But I have not checked it out to see if it is or not. And it's the back. We got a nice weight to it. So again, that's the Kuwaiti Liberation Medal. And here's the ribbon. Okay, you always want to wear the ribbon too. You want it right? Yeah. That's the ribbon. So that's pretty cool right there. I got that. I want to show you that. And also, when we was on the boat during the other storm, we always had things to do, and we like to create stuff, and we had these jackets. We could kind of like Letterman jackets in high school, but they like flight jackets for us, and we put patches on them. You could put patches of your squadron or whatever you've been. So we was on the boat, and we had the guys that do the parachute stuff. They actually good. They can craft stuff, like they craft parachutes and materials, so they can make patches and stuff also. Talented people, it's crazy. So we created our own patches to kind of, you know, think about Desert Storm or while we was there, give us something to do. So we came up with our own patches. We had somebody, we all just drew stuff and we handed them in, and we picked the best ones we liked out of all our drawings. You know, just random hand drawing stuff. And then we give it to those guys and they created patches. So here go a few of them that we did. So this is something you're never gonna find this unless it's somebody that was in my squadron at that time. So these are like very rare, very rare. And around here is all the different squadrons that are on the ship with us. So this one also, oops. And these are all created by us. You kind of tell that drawing, not a really great drawing, but yeah, so I just want to show y'all too. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I want to discuss about with you guys, and give you a little bit of history of being in boot camp and going to do actual Desert Storm and how it was. But definitely leave a comment down below. Any questions? Again, it's not political. We're not talking about political stuff, but any questions about what I'm talking about, or maybe you are considering joining the military and you want to have some questions about it, Navy, then hit me up down below too. So leave a comment for sure. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Please share it. Come again and bring a friend. And don't forget to let your veterans know Happy Veterans Day and thank you for your services. And I see you real soon, y'all. It's your boy, CincereB. I'm out of here. Peace.
Oh, hell no. You better subscribe and press that thumbs up button, fool.